To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. All right, so today we're back at the tiny house build. I say that every day now. I was talking to Carolyn yesterday about our firewood. You know, I want to make sure we got enough firewood for next winter because this wood stove requires our firewood to be less than 20% moisture. So we bought a moisture detector a few days ago, came back, and none of our firewood is below 20%. So it's got to wait a year to dry out. So of course this year we're going to use our old Franklin wood stove that I've hooked up down to the camper. So it doesn't matter what we use for that. And I don't want to use all our firewood up, and I want to make sure we got plenty of dried firewood for next year because, you know, we still don't have a handle on exactly how much we're going to use. I guess the reason I brought it up is this morning, it was like almost 80 degrees when I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning. At 6 o'clock, it started to drizzle a little bit. And I thought, oh man, I don't have the roof covered up on this thing. I have to go up here in the dark. And it just drizzled for a couple seconds. And then the wind picked up and it dropped, I bet, 5 degrees in 10 minutes, and then now it's downright chilly. Today we're going to build another truss. Since it's cooled off a bit, maybe I can build another one this afternoon. See, what my deal is I can work on the house in the morning for a few hours, then I got to go back and work on my actual job, and then I can come back in the evening. Well, here lately, I mean, here it is mid-October, and it's just blistering hot in the afternoon. Well, this afternoon it's supposed to be a little bit cooler, so I might come back up here and build another one. Just try to get this done as fast as possible. Now, somebody suggested that I save this design so I can do my back porch or front porch also. And you know, that's not a bad idea. I replied back that it wasn't going to be the same design, but after thinking about it, so I do apologize, after thinking about it, I could use the same design. The problem is I don't have enough 2x4s right now to build it. And, you know, the porch is like the last thing I want to worry about. I'm not in a big hurry for that. So I would have to take up my jig. So I'd almost have to redo the whole design. I suppose I can give it a try and see what happens and do the best I can. But, you know, that's so far down the future. I'm just not really going to worry about it. Just so you know, my rafters are a design. It's an engineering-approved design that you can get off the internet. Or the trusses, I should call them. Today, I'm coming up on the center beam, and I want to make sure that the distance of my center beam, when I say with center beam, what this is two walls that came together. So right here, at this seam right here is one wall, and then the other one is a second wall. Well, there's a little bit of wobble right in this wall. So I wanted to make sure that everything was coming out right. It's 140 inches apart from each other. So I measured it up. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take one of these metal gusset plates because I don't have a crown plate up here at the top. I know everybody thinks I should have a crown plate, but I don't need one. Just not enough weight to worry about it. So, and it's just, you know, that would have been another 40 bucks I would have had to spend. So right here on this seam, I'm going to put this little gusset plate, and that way I can continue to build my trusses all the way across, and that'll hold this a little bit more secure, keep it from rocking around so much. And I did that on the corners, at the first corner, and I'll do it over here at this corner. Now the problem is I can't use my ladder on this wall. I'll have to lean it up against the truss. So I'm going to be working a little bit backwards when I actually bring the truss up here because I can move this around too much, and I don't want to move it around. One of the things that I try to do is provide hope to people. Not that I'm trying to teach you how to build a house, because I'm not a carpenter. It's hope. I'm giving you hope. That's what I want to do. I gave you hope that you can find a piece of property, an acre and a half for $4,200. I want you to believe that you can do that. Because you can. And I get it all the time. Rob, there's no way you bought a piece of property for $4,200. I did. I handed cash to the guy. Well, then the house is going to be less than $5,000. So let's just round the whole thing up. I'm going to have a dream, a brand new home on wooded, beautiful acreage with a well and a septic tank that needs to be repaired for just under $10,000. It's the American dream. Cheap. It's a brand new house. Yes, it's a small house, but it's hope. But I find it amazing how many people want to destroy that hope. They want to leave comments saying, no, 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 you're doing it wrong. You can't do it. That's just not possible. You're going to fall apart. And I don't know why they do it. I mean, like I said, a lot of people say that I'm lying about the price of the property. So I've been building these trusses. And the first 3 comments that I got after the first video of me showing you how I was building it, I laid out my first design here on the floor. And I designed my jig here. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. All the boards can go in between these screws and just set them in there. Immediately people said, nope, you're doing it wrong. Now remember, I have an engineering drawing here. What they said is, you're violating code because right here is a split in the wood. They said I have to use a 12-foot board. By code, I have to use a 12-foot board because that's the width of our house. Why'd you use 6-foot boards and splice them together? You can't do that, it's gonna fall apart. And I thought, no, that's not true. Why are you saying this? I mean, they were adamant. You know, contractors, I've been a contractor. I just did not understand it. I know, I just know, my grandpa was a master carpenter. I know you can do this and use gusset plates. These cheap pieces of metal right here. My grandpa used plywood like I did. I'm building my own gusset plates out of plywood here, which makes it even stronger than these things. But here I use 2x4s. You can see it. I've used a 2x4. Actually, 1 on each side. So, this thing's just monster strong. As I've said before, Dad is down in Florida building a house. He lives a half a mile from the Gulf Coast. Hurricanes, he gets hurricanes all the time. And so he had to get his house design approved by a structural engineer. His house is 24 feet wide. And he built his trusses just like I'm building mine, the bottom board here. The structural engineer thought it was an amazing design. He plugged all the numbers into the computer and it was fine. So I'm doing even more than what Dad did. Dad just used these pieces of plywood like I've got here. So the house has, because it's in a hurricane zone, has to withstand a wind storm or wind analysis, structural engineer analysis, and it passed. So I'm just doing a 12-foot span with 2x4s, and his attic is a full-size attic. You can walk in it. My attic is only 3 foot tall. I can't walk in it. I would have to crawl. Do your research when you decide to build something. Do your research when you decide to buy something. Don't let anybody convince you. You have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to buy a piece of property. You can do it. Don't let people convince you that you can't build a house, a brand new house, for under $10,000. You can. So you may see this strap that I have hanging here. What I did there is I strapped the 2 walls together so I can pull them in together so I can get my 140 inches. Okay, so you saw that I had to get off the ladder, so I didn't use the ladder to push the wall out. And then I hammered in this gusset plate. For those that haven't seen my previous videos, this gusset plate has little sharp spikes in it, and it mends 2 pieces of board together. Try to demonstrate here. So imagine my hands are boards. So you'd hammer that into the 2 boards, and it mends it together, keeps it from flexing. All right, so I finished another rafter or truss or whatever you want to call it. This one caused me a little bit of a challenge because my cross beam that I've been using to temporarily hold them up, I had to add a second one today. And so I didn't have enough hands to get everything to stabilize. I managed it, but it always takes a little bit longer when you don't have the support in place. I can't tell you how good it feels. Every time I get one up, I just sit there and I stare at it. It's like I created something. You know, these are supposed to be manufactured professional things, and I've made one. So I hope I can inspire you to have hope that you can create something. Thanks for watching.